Hi, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Words with Dawn Thompson. If you've never been to this podcast before, I am a therapist who transforms people's lives by changing the way they think and aligning their energy to make sure that they get what they want. And I'm in conversation today with the lovely Rachel Haynes, fabulous woman that I've known for nearly 20 years. She is just wonderful. She's a business consultant by day, but by night, she's the most beautiful actress and singer. She's reduced me to tears with her singing. It's so beautiful. Um, and yeah, and she's got a couple of words for us today that she's going to discuss and share with us. So, hi, Rachel.
No.
Thanks for coming in and having a bit of a yap with us. Tell everyone that's listening a little bit about what you do and who you are by day and by night.
Okay. So I am a business consultant. I run a small consultancy called Fulkio. We specialize in operations management and strategy for small businesses, is the official tagline.
Mm-hmm.
What it's actually morphed into over the last, my gosh, 2.5 years we've been going now. I
Wow.
know, is I do a lot of things in terms of fixing things in small business, helping people sort things out in their small businesses. I find that generally my clients have started a business because they are the go-to expert in whatever their business sells or does or produces. But somewhere the business has been successful and they've got a bit stuck in terms of systems and scaling. Maybe they have a team that they weren't expecting now. Maybe they have financial burdens they weren't expecting. And sometimes they actually just need someone in the business with them for a little while, navigating that route together, but fixing things and helping them sort things out as we go. I take pains to explain to people that I'm not a coach. That's not what I do. I am a fixer and a partner in your business. And I try and make myself redundant in most of the relationships as quickly as possible. Again, the pitch is to try and not say you need a high C-suite chief of operations or director of operations. The idea is to say, I'll come in, help you a little bit, and then leave you to get on with it until you need me again, dip in and out that way.
Yeah, just giving the tools. It's really similar to what I do in a way, isn't it? Because we're basically just giving people the tools, straightening out their crap, and then going, bye.
Yeah,
But then we're not to be relied on. We want them to be empowered enough that they can do it themselves. And that's
yeah,
the beautiful thing I think about the way that we work, in different ways. But yeah, for
but it's
sure.
the same for sure.
Yeah.
And in my case, also celebrating that maybe slightly forgotten, slightly uninvested in middle, the people who are supporting the leaders who actually are standing
Mhm.
at the gate ready to step up, to ramp up, to take a bit more responsibility. That was me in my employed life for a very long time until I broke the glass ceiling. And there's a few things coming out from Fulkio shortly that will actually celebrate that kind of forgotten middle that are ready to lead from the bottom up, as it were. Lovely.
Yeah, the middle are just, all the people that are just getting on with things and just seemingly normal are just so
And
left behind because they don't need loads of help and they're not the perceived elite. And so I love that you're doing something for the forgotten middle because, that's nearly all of us. The forgotten middle.
been there, I'm sure. Most of us normal people, anyway.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Let's get into the a little bit about you. So you're fabulous and great, and you do so much good stuff for businesses. And I know you so well. You do, just by being you, you just rock up and people feel better. Do you know what I mean? Just I know that. I've had experience of that myself. Um, but what's going on for you? What word have you brought to us today? What's a life for you today?
I have brought a word that I just love for the sake of the word. It's not particularly meaningful. It's not got a big, spiritual woohoo behind it. I could have done that, and that would have been very, very us. But I didn't because I actually thought you'd be interested in a word that um, I use regularly and use for quite specific reasons. But it's not actually recognized in English.
Oh la la.
Hello.
So that sounds interesting. Keep
Okay.
telling me more. Tell me more.
So my word is timeously. Have you heard?
Wow. I have never heard this word. Timeously.
Timeously,
Uh-huh.
Timeously.
I'm writing that down, people, because anyone that knows me knows that I love
I'm
words.
so happy about that.
So it's like timelessly. If I saw that, I'd be like, timelessly?
Yep.
Ooh, so right, okay, give us a definition. Tell me what this means.
Okay, I'm so excited that you don't know it. That's really
I
great.
don't.
This just goes to show we don't prep these, right? So, Timiously is doing something in a timely manner or promptly. It's very simple. It's not particularly complicated, but it's only actually recognized in Old Scottish English. And weirdly, I found out this morning looking into this, delighted because of my heritage, South African English. Scotland and South Africa use it. My two homes. Not that South Africa was ever my home, but that's my heritage. That's
No,
what.
your heritage, yeah, South Africa. Oh my gosh, I've got to get a tissue. Sorry, bro. I'm a bit overcome with this new word that I've never heard. Timeously. And is it still used now in South Africa?
So I am not sure. I'll tell you how I came across it.
Mm.
So a squillion years ago, I trained as a legal secretary, and I moved from that job. I had a couple of different legal sec jobs, and then I moved to be a secretary for a surveyor's firm in the time called Bar Brady, very early noughties, I think. And it was part of when the guys went out to survey houses, they would come back with their, oh God, in the old days, their dictaphone tapes. And we would audio type the reports for them. They would usually dictate them in the car while they're sitting outside the property, that sort of thing. And there was one, if not two guys who used to use this word, which is why I'm so adamant about how to spell it, and that actually if you stick it into Microsoft Word goes bananas and thinks that you're trying
Does
to do
it?
something else. Oh yeah, it's not recognized in the American dictionaries that how Microsoft Word certainly wasn't back in the day. I don't think it is now. And yes, and they would use this word to remind you in your house survey report to do things in a timely manner. So, if they recommended that the tiles on the roof needs replaced, or possibly they weren't recommending to do it, but they were saying, if this happens to the roof, or if this tree gets too tall, we suggest that you add the tiles to the roof timiously, or cut the tree down timiously within good time.
So yeah, not ASAP immediately, just within good time.
Yeah, you're not an emergency, but also don't sit on it for 12 months.
Okay, I'm gazing out the window now, thinking about Timeously. Do you know it's an amazing word though, actually, isn't it? And why isn't it more widely used? Because is there another word? We've got straight away, we've got later, we've got in your own time, we've got all these other things. But Timeously sounds to me like no, this has to be done at some point and before shit goes down.
Exactly. It says exactly what it's supposed to in one word. So the common alternatives I've got, promptly, ahead of schedule. I still don't think that says the same thing. In a timely manner, I think is the very crux of the definition,
Yeah. Yeah.
and without delay. So
And so why do you like it? Let's talk about what it means to you.
um, one, because it's not recognized, and so I've won many arguments with bosses over the years when I've included it in something that I've written, and they send it back with a big red pen through it. I went, no, that's a word and it has a genuine meaning. And actually, I many times I think it describes it the best it can be.
Mm.
Um, but yes, particularly a lady who I absolutely adore, but an American boss who was just absolutely not. You are not using made up Scottish words in documents that are coming out from our organisation. So I love it for that because it's a little bit controversial. And I think I don't know. I like the way it sounds, timeously, because it's also almost not how it's spelt.
It's
Timeously.
not. It's
Time
not.
timeously.
Yes.
Timeously is actually,
Timeously.
but it's not a timeously. I just think it's quite musical.
It is. And I think that's really interesting because of your, so for people who don't know Ray, she is also, like I said, a brilliant singer and she does perform live a lot. And I do think there must be something about that feeling of it in your mouth in that musical way, because it does kind of go up and down the scale, doesn't it? The way you say it, the way it's spoken.
And I don't know why I think it translated more as well when we were audio typing back in the day. When you had the guys' voices in your ears the entire time. Um, so it sounds really silly, but in that really mundane, okay, same report, different day kind of land, words actually did become quite interesting and part of your daily soundtrack. Another one which I adore from the same time period is delineation or delineated in blue on the map, delineated.
Yep. Yeah.
And I don't think you can have it in Scrabble because I think it's too long.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. And I was thinking timiously, I was like, you know what?
yeah, that would
Well,
be a
you
song.
can't. You can't, which is a real shame. But
Well,
there must be Timaeus.
you could do Timaeus and then add on the Altride. I've when I manage it, I will write to you and tell you in what Scrabble game I will take a picture and send it to you when I've managed to put Timaeus and then LY down. I want to be there.
Honestly, for people who may not know me, I'm a proper Scrabble fiend. I love Scrabble, and yeah. Uh, so yep, that really appeals to me. And what makes Timaeus? So does Timaeus have any other importance or significance to you other than just the way it feels in your mouth?
Oh, I think not the word itself.
Mm.
I am on a journey where I have discovered in the last 2.5 years the importance of my time. This is a new thing, and I hope it's okay to kind of roughly link, Dawn.
Yeah, of course.
Um, but yes, to do things in a Timaeus manner, I now pride myself in that. I have to do that. I have clients who rely on me to hit deadlines. I have certain things for myself in my weekly routine that I like to do at either certain times or, I do give myself deadlines and goals and try and stick to them where possible. But in the complete counter to that, one of the things I found in the last 2.5 years is I think I've told you this in person, but I'm now no longer late to anything unless it's completely out with my control. Whereas in my employed life, I'm sure there will be no ex-bosses watching this, but they'll all be nodding vigorously. Yeah, I was perpetually this, not 10 minutes late, I was 7 minutes late every to everything. Not internal work meetings or anything like that, but to get to work, to I would always get that bus that would get me just 3 minutes after the hour and then walk around the corner as opposed to the one that would get me there 15 minutes before the hour. Always, 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 always. And I've only realized in the last 2.5 years of running my own business that I no longer do that. I know exactly how long it will take me to get from X to Y. I make it my business to know I do like being 15 minutes early for things. I have no problem sitting answering a couple of emails and having a coffee before the meeting. And one of the reasons for that is because it's now on my own ticket. It's my time that I am investing in, not someone else's, not my time being invested in someone else. And
Yes, right.
it sounds like a kind of chip on the shoulder thing, but there is a real a subtle difference for me, um, with that being me for my clients versus me for someone else's profit and someone else's gain. It's a very subtle shift, but I've noticed it. Um, and one of the things that I celebrate most about my new life, being a business owner and being self-employed, is I still celebrate every single week the freedom that I have with my time. And you know this about me very, very well, but if I decide on a random Tuesday after doing a podcast with a dear colleague, I'm going to have coffee with a school friend who I've not seen in 25 years, and I have got a whole load of work to get done this afternoon, and I will do it, but I'm probably going to go for a swim first because I can, because That's really important to me, and I will get better work done
For
after
sure.
I've done a swim and focused my mind, taken in some fresh air. We've got a beautiful sunny day here in Edinburgh today. But that freedom of my time is probably the most valuable thing I have gained from starting my own business. And it's
Yeah.
loosely connected to that word.
Yeah. Well, if things are done timeously, then it means that there's no real that there should be fewer catch-ups, firefighting. It speaks of efficiency to me.
Yeah.
If you're efficient, then the swimming or whatever looks like it's a luxury when it actually isn't, because it's imperative for you to have that. But all these things that, in the coffee with a friend and, in a work day, oh my gosh, coffee and swimming, oh my gosh. But actually, if things are done timeously, why would you not? Why wouldn't you?
Exactly. We talked about this years ago. Do you remember the first day I came to you? I went, I'm having a flow day. It's nothing to do with female stuff. But I said to you, I had an appointment with you at, I think it was about 10:30 or 11 o'clock.
Hmm.
And I had done the same thing. I'd got up in the morning. This was while I was employed. I had got up in the morning. I decided to waste the first hour of the day going for a swim. I did not tell my employers that. They thought I was working from home. Oh, back in the day. Then I had an appointment with you in the middle of the morning. Then I took myself for a sandwich on the corner by the office, had that processed what you and I had been talking about in our meeting. And then I went to work. And I remember phoning you that evening and going, I had a flow day today, and that it was one of those moments where I went, that's what I need my life to be. It doesn't need to be, I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I can only fit the gym in if I get there at 6:45 in the morning, out with the precious time that is that 9 to 6 that somebody pays for. Got to squeeze in all the lovely juicy bits have got to be done either before 9 o'clock in the morning or after 6 o'clock at night. Hang
When
on,
most people are knackered or just waking up feeling great or have done a whole day and then are spent.
that's not how to live. That's not how to live.
Totally not how to
And if
live.
you are going to work 9 to 6, Monday to Friday, and that suits you because you're a routine person and actually that's a safe routine for you, power to you. But I discovered quite organically, and also with kind of kicking off several times in my employed roles, asking for flexible timings and things that weren't revolving around my daughter. Yeah, it's powerfully important to me. That time.
And that is interesting because I have a story to share. A friend of mine was this very beautiful, elegant lady she was a model actually in the 70s, and she was always late. But she was so beautiful that she was,
Yeah.
she was like, the Anushka Hempel type woman, if you remember her from way back in the day. She was like the Edinburgh version of that. And she ended up going to a party and she was late. And she just swaned in, it's late, blah, blah. And the host of the party called her over a little bit later and he said, can I ask you a question? She was like, yeah, of course. And he said, what makes you think your time is more important than my time? And she said, nothing. And then was a bit like, okay. And was never late again.
Yeah.
And it is something about time's the only thing we've got is time, really. The most precious commodity actually is time.
Agree.
And we've got to make it work the way that works best for us. And I love what you said about how when you're just flowing away, you can just everything gets done because you're working the way that works best for you. So nothing is left to be picked up, if you like. It's all you can still manage it all.
You're not sacrificing one thing for the other. I think that's key. My husband and I talk about this quite a lot. I have the ability to do the equivalent of 4 hours work in an hour and a half sometimes. It's just the way my brain works. If I'm in the zone, particularly in front of a computer, like I've got my setup here with, my dual screens and blah, 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 I can have four things going at once and complete them all at the same time. It's a skill I celebrate, and that I've honed over nearly 30 years of working in an office environment. However, um, that's the key for me is if I get myself into a mental state and a fitness state and a happy state and a healthy state, where when I sit down to do that 2 hours, it's like lightning and I can completely achieve it, then I, I'm not kidding anybody. Do you know, I'm not cheating in any way, as you say, and it isn't at the sacrifice of getting the work done. It's just you have to have. Do you remember the film? Was it about a boy when he was this completely indulged individual? He had nothing to do. He didn't work, but his
Yeah.
life was in, what did he call them? I want to say compartments, but it wasn't. It was little chapters of time in his day. And I totally get that. I would never not work. I'd still have to have my work, otherwise I'd go nuts. Um, that's also something I have discovered about myself. It's not about leisure, it's about balance. I've definitely discovered that.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
your point about the lady who was late and on other people's times. So again, in my employed life, yeah, 7 minutes late in the morning, oh well. To internal meetings, never. It's a really interesting difference because if someone is taking the time to go and sit in a meeting room and talk to me face to face, or talk to whichever colleague it is face to face, get there, show up, know what you're there to talk about. And I will not name names, but over three different um, employed positions, I can think of people who were they weren't 7 minutes late, they were 17 minutes late. And all it said to the three people who were waiting for them in the meeting room was that whoever they were talking to was more important than those three people sitting in the room. But the other thing, to bring it back to my now current work, is but it's also 17 minutes of paid time times three who are sitting there doing nothing. So the money, the business is literally um, um, hemorrhaging money for that
Mm,
70 minutes whilst they do their thing that's more important than the meeting that was called in the first place. There's something wrong there. That's a
yeah,
complete business disconnect.
yeah,
Is the meeting necessary in that person's mind? Doesn't sound like it. And if that's the case, let's question why you're having it and let's question what is more important in their world than whatever it is that you're discussing in this room, and let's figure that out.
yeah,
It used to
yeah.
cause all sorts of arguments and problems.
Because it feels like disrespect as well. It is disrespect actually. It's disrespecting, like you say, the other people's time, businesses, priorities, and important things that they think are important. It is slightly disrespectful or mismanaged because we've all
Yeah,
been on those phone calls where you really want to get off the
you
phone
can do.
and you're just like, look, you know what, and you're trying to break the rapport and you're trying to get you're trying to get off the phone and you can't, but still for that to be that phone call to be completed timeously, they should understand that if that person's a really person they can't get off the phone, don't speak to them. Just don't pick up the phone because you're going to be stuck there for
Either that, or let's talk about buffering. Let's talk about not having meetings back to back. It's so simple, Dawn. It's like common sense. That's what
Mm-hmm.
I paid for like 25 years. To be the common sense person in the room. I would never book an appointment back to back with a call with that person and with the person who's actually taking the call as well. You give them a half an hour buffer,
Sure.
full 30 minutes. Oh, but that's 30 minutes wasted and they'll slot something else in. Well, he may do, but my good practice would be no, you have a 30-minute buffer because he's going to overrun with that person. Then he's going to want to get coffee. Then he's going to need a wee. And then he's going to come and sit in the room and have the meeting with the person.
Yeah, I totally agree. I completely agree. And I always think it's interesting that the most straightforward and efficient solution is really, really simple. And people are like, yeah, but. And it's like, no, literally put in half an hour space. And people are like, but. And I think they almost feel that it doesn't look like they're being efficient, but it's the opposite of efficiency.
It's that cheating thing. But if my diary's not back to back, surely that's a missed opportunity. No,
Yeah.
it means that you'll actually get the things done. It means that when you finish that conversation with the person who's gone over 17 minutes, you'll have 5 minutes in the olden days to actually write down some thoughts,
Right.
write down some notes, make sure that you remember to diarize whatever the follow-up is. This is the core work I do, Dawn, with businesses. And a lot of it, you know, sometimes you do feel cheaty for being paid for your common sense, but I've been paid for my common sense and my generalist ness. As I say, for 25 years of going and going, whoa, 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 really busy people. Hold on, hold on. There's a reason that you guys aren't ever getting through your agenda, and it's because, well, one, you're not starting until 18 minutes past the hour. And also then you sit there blethering, asking how everybody is for 15 minutes. And then you get to the agenda and suddenly go, oh, we've got 10 minutes left.
Yeah, it's just inefficiency, isn't it? It really
Um,
is. And I think that that whole thing about people busy, being busy is just such a, just stop, just really look at what you're doing. And, and you're so busy, you know, deconstruct it and see what really needs done. And like you say, you could actually have a lunch break today because you've actually deconstructed it. This busy thing, it's just a kind of world that people are caught in
it is. It
and
is.
they just can't.
Years, years. And it is, as you say, it's like a status thing as well. Oh, busy, 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 busy. Okay, if you want to live like that, cool. No judgment if that works for you. I actually do know two individuals who it does work for. They are quite
Right.
happy with the way things are. They run at a squillion miles an hour from the second they open their eyes to the second they close their eyes. And that's how they like to live. They get a buzz from it. No judgment. But it's when people come to me and say, "Oh, well, busy, busy, busy. I just haven't had time to insert thing that's good for you here." Including stop and chill for 15 minutes.
Oh,
You and I have talked previously about another thing that I'm really passionate about, my little rituals of joy, which are 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there, usually meet in the middle about 12 minutes between doing one thing and another. Um, Pausing, even if it's like if I've finished at the gym but I'm getting on the bus to go home, that 15-minute walk between gym and bus stop or whatever it is, what audiobook am I listening to? And could I get in just half a chapter of that just to take my mind out of the four things that I'm going to do when I do sit down at the computer that I'm already prepping for mentally? The conversations I had with my husband about what we're doing over the weekend and where the kids going, when, all the financial things that you have to think about in a household. If I can just, okay, 12 minutes, ritual of joy, and it resets the brain. It's stuff like that as well.
love that.
Long.
Love that. And I'm guessing the more you do it, the more you can't not do it. It's just become second nature to do that. And that's the thing that people need to understand. So start that.
It's just a habit. It's a habit, and it's really interesting you say that actually because I'm really put out at the moment because
Oh,
I've just finished 6 months worth of listening 2 days ago, and I was in this kitchen last night going, right, I've been enjoying doing my dishes. I've been enjoying hanging a washing because the headphones go in and I'm in that world and it doesn't matter what I'm doing. My kitchen's never been tidier. I've run out of the thing that I want to listen to and I don't have any credits left for another one. And I was probably put out last night because I went to go do, sounds so silly, the after dinner dishes. But I don't have anything to listen to. It's rubbish. Or anything I wanted to listen to.
no, no, listen, I hear you on that because for me it's music. And it's like I can't get the dishes done. I can't load the dishwasher. I can't get I can't do any stuff like that unless I've got the tunes on.
Yeah, quite right.
And because you're so taken in with the tunes and singing at the top of your voice, not knowing that you're singing at the top of your voice, the rest of your family's like, oh my God, really? But I'm like, "What?" you know I'm just hanging out my pants, but I'm having the best time. And yeah, so I totally get that you would be put out not to have that.
I'm going to find another one though.
Is it a story? Is it documentary? Is it nonfiction? What is it?
I have just finished. Please, no judgment from the wider audience because actually, no, judge me if you like. I don't care. They were excellent. I have just finished the full cast recordings of the seven Harry Potter books. They were done for Audible. The cast are incredible. And I went through every word with them right up to the end. And in fact, Martin came through a few days ago and said, what is the matter with you? You're crying. I said, I know it's pathetic, but I've been in it. They released one every 6 months from December. And so, yes, I've done a book a month with them for the last 6 months. It's been absolutely brilliant to relive them. Um,
Oh,
yeah, highly recommend.
just go somewhere else, isn't it? It's just like going somewhere else,
Yeah.
being
Next
somewhere different.
would be something like Lord of the Rings, or in fact, we were talking yesterday, I might do Dickens. There are too many Dickens novels that I have not read, and I won't read them, but I might listen to them. And offer escape.
Yeah, that would be good. Did
Meeting.
you know that story about Stephen Fry when he was doing the audiobooks of Harry Potter about pocketed? Do you hear that bit? And when he said, well, who was it that pocketed it? And he was like, this is a really difficult thing to say. Can we change it? And J.K. Rowling went, no, you have to say it.
He said it when he was recording. It was either book 2 or 3, and she included it, therefore, in each in each book ever since. But
To
yeah,
make him say it. Yeah, pocketed it. It's kind of, yeah, it's kind of difficult to say.
that's not obviously, that's a pocketed it.
Like Timeously. So there must be Timeousness.
Let me see.
Because to me, Timaeus sounds like Timaeus is an adjective, right? And Timaeusly is an adverb. So there must be a noun for it. And so is there Timeousness? I'm just wondering now.
I would suggest there is for adjective form Timaeus, a Timaeus
Mm.
warning or a Timaeus conclusion to a project. Adverb Timaeusly. Yes. So Timaeusness. Timeousness is the quality of being done at a suitable, opportune, or sufficient early time.
Ooh,
The
I like all
Timeousness,
those words.
Timeousness of Ray getting to work on time when she was employed.
That Ray was not, well, Timaeus, no, not for the job, no, but maybe for yourself, it was it was efficient.
Right.
you know, it did speak something, and it kind of reminds me of like like when you're a kid, or actually when I see my kids doing it, like dragging themselves out of bed for school, and on a holiday, 6 o'clock in the morning, just
Yep.
jumping out of bed, and I'm like, what is going on here? But I remember the same. That you'd
Yes,
be like, oh, school, and then on your holidays, you're like, oh God, I'm not missing a minute of this free time stuff. I'm
that's
where.
the thing. I think that's a life lesson. If you don't want to get out of bed for the thing that you've got to go do, how long do you want to do that for? Now, I mean, schools are non-negotiable. But even then, my niece has just picked her subjects for her standard grade years. And get this, for the modern education system, 2 of her standard grade subjects are going to be dance and hairdressing.
Yeah.
Not a thing when I was at school. But that, like,
Oh,
yeah,
girl, when we were at school, it was so lame.
I used to, I
So
had
lame.
choice, but physics and economics. Neither of, well, I actually loved physics, but yeah, no,
You
that was
loved
not
physics.
to be motivated to get out of bed because you had on a Thursday morning right now, she has triple hairdressing. Come on. Isn't that great?
No, I mean, because that's AI, what AI cannot do.
No.
It cannot dance, nor can it cut your hair. So good on your niece.
Yeah, I think so. I'm really proud of her for the choices that she's making. And her parents have been remarkably supportive of this is the road she wants to go down at such a young age. I mean, I started in hairdressing. I don't know if you know that,
Mm.
but yeah, I left school and got a trade because that's what I thought I had to do if I was going to be so impertinent as to leave school after standard grade years, and I did, and it did me no harm at all. It's hard graft. You have to apply yourself. It's physically tiring. You're on your feet all day. But I learned after a couple of years of doing it that actually it wasn't for me, and I was a geek and I wanted to work in business and I wanted to have a computer to play with every day. So very quickly got into business. That's how I started as a legal secretary. Now, she might figure that out in her 4th year at school. She might do 2 years of hairdressing and go, maybe actually there's something in chemistry or biology or French or Spanish or whatever. How cool that she might actually find that out halfway through her education and go, no, actually, this isn't for
Yeah.
me and I'm going to go a different way.
And then go and swap. They can
Right.
swap out.
Right. As opposed to what I did, which was I went off the cliff. They were going to force me in my 5th year to do all the things I didn't want to do. I wanted to do the artistic subjects. Side note, my father passed away in my standard grade year, and I still managed to pass all of my exams, straight A student. So in my 5th year, when I chose my hires, I wanted to do music, English, history, a language, because I was singing at the time, and something else, or maybe it was drama as well. I wanted an easy fifth year. I wanted to just enjoy my fifth year and do some other subjects. And we were called into the deputy head's office at the time, my mum and I. We can't let you do those choices. You're a straight A student. We need you to do English, maths, economics, physics, and something else highly dull. I think they would still going to allow me to do music. But we need you to do those this year, and then you can relax next year. I just went, I'm not doing that. I'm going to go work. Bye.
See, that's the thing, and they pushed you out of the education system, whereas now you've got all these choices, haven't you? Like my husband's still like, he's really jealous that, you know, our daughter can do criminology now as a subject. He's like, oh my God, if I was, and he would have loved that, would have been so up for it. All these different things that they can do now,
Yeah.
as opposed to the, like you say, the sciences, history, Joe, but did on your niece for, she'll be getting out of bed. She'll be getting out of bed for that.
Yeah.
That's
I
the whole.
wouldn't want her to get out of bed for a rubbish day. Don't get me wrong, there's part of life as well that, sometimes you've got to get up and do stuff you don't want to do. But again, my opinion on that is, but balance it. Sure, if someone's paying you wages and it's a bit of a tough day, yeah, sometimes you just got to grin and bear it. And the thing that you look forward to during the day is actually a sandwich at 12:30 because you don't know what's in it because you get to go and pick it at a sandwich shop. That's the joy of the day. I get that. But where possible, life's too short. Enjoy your reason for getting out of bed in the morning. Make it so. It's within your gift.
I love that. I think that's the message from today's podcast is enjoy the reason why you get up and know why you're getting up.
Yeah.
Don't sleepwalk through life.
Yeah.
And even when you said, the only thing you can do is pick your sandwich. Do you know what?
But little rituals of joy. Make that your joy thing today. Look
Really?
forward to your sandwich. Again, I was having a conversation with my niece only the other day when we were talking about, slightly dodgy days in the timetable. I said, okay, so maybe Monday's not going to be the best day. What's on? This is what I used to do when I was at school, Dawn. What's on telly on a Monday night? What's the 8 o'clock drama that I'm aiming for when I get out of bed on a Monday morning? And if I have to skip the day bit, but that's the highlight of my day. I've lived that way since I was 13. It's inbuilt. Like find the bit that is the joy in the day, and if there's other stuff around it that you're not so hot on, aim for that. Aim for that and live in the joy.
I love that. That is people. That's what this Timaeus brings you on a day. It's about it. No, but it's true. It's that whole thing, isn't it? About the rituals of joy. And thank you so much for saying that, because that's something that people could really take away with them, and understanding that the why you get out of bed and finding the joy in picking your sandwich, man. That's I'm gluten free, and the thought of picking a sandwich, I'm like, oh, I'd love to pick a sandwich. Go for sourdough or don't know, bloomer, well, yeah. I love that, Rachel. Thank you so much for bringing that up. And
You're welcome.
it'll be something I hope that people can bring into their day, particularly the days that feel a bit treacly, like you're walking through treacle a bit.
Yeah.
But before we go, and before we wrap up, I would like to ask you, because we're now at the part of the podcast where I go back to the 80s and Lethal Weapon. I think of the words of Roger Murtaugh, who's played by Danny Glover.
Oh,
he's the older cop to Mel Gibson's. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he says, and he's running around Mel Gibson being Mel Gibson and shooting everyone in the base. And Roger Murtaugh just goes, "Oh, I'm too old for this shit." And I love him because there is a bit of me that is too old for this shit. So I'd like to ask you, what are you too old for? What are you ready just to ditch?
Oh. Okay. Drains and radiators. Do we know this?
Mm-hmm. can you say a little bit more about? I know what you mean, but
Yeah.
just for those that are
So
listening.
drains and radiators. So you have people in your life who are drains on your energy and your skills and your ability to give. And then you have radiators who actually you can sit beside in a room and just have a really great time with each other just because you're both there and you're present. And I don't spend an awful lot of time with drains anymore. I make a conscious effort not to. And when I do come across one now, it's not a case of, oh, I've identified and, oh, little red flag and excited. I just, nah, I'm too old for this shit. I'm moving on. And I'm too old for this shit. I'm moving on. And I will just let you go and find your little pathway somewhere else. Because I could see me going down a rabbit hole that would take me months and years to get out of. Maybe not so much anymore now. I'm a bit more long in the tooth, but yes, that's because I'm too old.
Yeah. And you can actually feel a drain straight away, can't you? Because they are literally taking your vibe,
Yeah.
aren't they? They're just
And I think the more time I spend, I do quite a lot of work energetically as well. Not particularly serious work, I have to say. There's lots of people who do it a lot better than me. But I have an awareness and a curiosity about my energies and um, why I have them and why intuitively I know what to do with them. And I think the more you open up that understanding and that curiosity, the more when someone starts to physically suck on that, you're like, oh no, hang on, no, I know what this is. And actually, it's really precious to look after as well. Again, all the things that we've been talking about today, it's another one that I would say when people start to be aware of their flow in the day, their flow of their energy and their joy, and if they've got these little rituals in place, suddenly then when someone comes along and goes, no, no, it's mine, pay attention. It's palpable. You can tell.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I get this kind of nowadays with the whole the draining people. I'll kind of feel that I feel like I want to go that cat way when cats arch their back and hiss.
Yeah.
Just makes me go, you know, and even if we're told that this person's fabulous and you really need to speak to them or you really, blah, 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 and engage with them. If I get that, I'm a bit like, and I give it a few times. But if it's in business and I have to meet up with someone or I have to think about engaging with this person, I'll look at that feeling and think, what is that? But if it happens more than two or three times, it's just a thing.
Oh yeah,
It's like
absolutely.
you just got to trust the thing. Your
Look,
your vibe is saying,
stop it.
nope.
If it's a business energy, the thing is, there is an element of professionalism, but what it does for you is it doesn't mean you can't have conversations with this person. It doesn't mean you can't engage with the person on a regular basis. It just means you're going to have a level of defense up so that you and consciously know that you're not going to go down an emotional rabbit hole with this person. You'll be slightly less open is probably the right word. But yeah, we're not saying that you don't engage with people at all, but you look after yourself. You
Yeah,
look after your energy, your zone.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah. And if you can, don't spend too long with them.
Yeah, contain the time, have endpoints, you know,
Timious meetings.
Timaeus meetings. Oh,
That
beautiful.
is amazing because I swear, what? Wow. Not that I'm like a walking lexicon of words or anything like that. I love it when I listen to new words and I get new words and stuff. You know what I mean? I know I've got a pretty decent vocabulary, but that is a nice one. I think I might just drop it into conversation later.
You will know. You will know.
Totally will. I'm gonna just phone you up later and go, make
Oh,
sure this is done in a
oh,
Timia's
Timaeus in Luton. Timaeus.
Timia's manner. It's so cool. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, thank you so much, Rachel, for that. It's just really lovely. And yeah, people stay away from the drains. And you know what? You know who they are.
Yes, you do.
And if you're tired, you come home and you're tired, and it's a tiredness you can't shake, it's energetic. So be aware of who, be aware of your energy. When you get out of bed,
Mhm.
and you'll notice how you feel. And if you come back from any engagement that you feel worse, got to think about what's going on there. Could be a drain that you have been just putting up with for ages. That's another episode. The drains in your life. But thank you so much, darling. That was so cool. I think we're going to wrap it up there. I've loved talking to you. Always love talking to you. Could talk to you for another 3 hours, but that would not be our Timaeus. There would not be a Timaeus use of time. Is that the way use of? Don't know if that's the right way of using it.
Timaeus use of time. Let's just say it is.
Well, because it's new and I'm learning it, it is right. So that's fine. But thank you so much for being on the podcast this morning. And thank you for listening. I hope you got something out of it today. It's been fun. And see you on the next one.